channel. Alright, well, here goes. Hey guys, this is Grimlok 24, and I'm back with some more monster videos. This time, I'm starting out with Diablos. Who is another Sandy Plains monster. This guy is a little more dangerous than a lot of the monsters I've shown you so far. But, with a little bit of guidance, I think you guys will be just fine. So, he basically hangs out in these 3 hot areas over to the left. I can never remember the room numbers, but, I like to check out this room first. So, of course, since this is in the plains, you will need to bring your cool drinks. I like to, being the minimalist I am, I like to wait until I've actually found him before I take a drink so that I'm not wasting time on it. Chances are you'll regen the health before you're really into the fight. So one thing real quick here I want to mention is, actually you can see it right here, that's him over there, and he's got 2 big old horns, which is kind of his main feature. And he will use them on you, and chances are if you want to craft anything of his, you will need his horn items. So that's going to be kind of a focus of the fight, a little bit of a priority. You're going to want to break these horns, and of course breaking the horns involves hitting him in the head. And his horns will break separately, so you actually have to, once you break them once, only one of them will come off, and then you have to keep hitting him in the head and break the other one. So he drops items called Twisted Horns, and then this version has a rare item called Majestic Horn, and you only even have a chance to get that if you break both horns. So if you're going for the horns, you're going to want to get both of them. So that's kind of important. So I like to use Switch X on this guy. Actually, I'll say I like to use Switch X on the G rank version of him. Usually I use a longsword on the low rank version, but I'm going to fight him like it's a G rank version just so that, you know, if you guys are able to get much out of this fight, then you should be able to actually get help for the higher rank versions of it as well. The reason I use sword or Switch X is, contrary to at least what I would expect, his horns have extra resistance against impact damage. So if you're wanting to use a hammer against him, you'll actually be bouncing off of him, and you'll have to just rely on the super pounds if that's your weapon of choice for him. Whereas cutting damage on his low and high rank versions will cut through his head, and that makes things just much easier. Now the G rank version, he gains a lot of hardness on his head. I think it requires white sharpness or higher to be able to cut through his horns. And chances are, by the time you're fighting him in G rank, you probably won't have any weapons with white sharpness, and if you do, it'll probably only be a few hits of white sharpness. So, chances are you'll need to find some workaround for that hardness that he gains. And my workaround of choice is the Switch Axe's sword form, which, of course, has the Mind's Eye skill inherent in it, making it so that it doesn't bounce off. So, I'll get right into the fight here. This guy can give people quite a bit of trouble. One of my recommended armor skills, even though I don't use it, is tremor resistance. You'll see why in a little bit here. He's another monster that goes underground a lot, and he likes to move around underground, and if you happen to get caught underneath him when he's underground and moving, then you'll get staggered by tremor, and you'll be kind of disabled or paralyzed for a few seconds, and he can have his way with you. But if you move around a lot when he's underground, then there's a pretty good chance that you won't even ever get hit by the tremor in a single fight. So here he is going underground. When he goes underground, I like to dash away and kind of diagonally to the side. And he will usually miss you because he'll try to pop out like that. So I'm going to be using the sword form. Even though I don't have to use the sword form on this low rank version, I'm going to fight him the way I do the G rank, as I mentioned earlier, just so that you can see what I do. Now with this monster, more so than most, you kind of need a good sense of timing on when you can actually attack his wounds, because he won't always give you great opportunities to do so, and this is about the best you can get after this kill. He gives you a few attacks, but he's also got another attack that I try to hit the timing with, that hopefully he'll do it in a little bit here, and I'll show you what I try to do. Another important thing is, if you're on the low rank like I am here, they will supply you with some sonic bombs, which are very important, as with basically any monster that, goes underground. If you use a sonic bomb while they're underground, then it pops them back up. If you happen to watch my Nibble Snarf video, you saw that I threw a sonic bomb and he came and attacked where that sonic bomb was. It doesn't give you very much of an advantage to use sonic bombs on Nibble Snarf, but on this guy it gives you a massive advantage, and hopefully I'll get to show you why. I don't like to use them right up at the start here, because they are much more effective on him when he's exhausted, out of stamina. So I like to save my sonic bombs until then. So if you happen to have paralysis, I really like that on Diablos, because it gives you a good 10 or 15 seconds, and you can just sit there and wail on his horns, because you won't get a whole lot of opportunities to do so, and you will probably want to get his horns. So that move right there is what I was mentioning earlier as far as the timing. He does that one horde swipe, but he can also do it twice. What I wait for is if he does it twice. So if I'm far enough to his sides or in front of him and he does that move, then if he does it a second time, which hopefully he'll show it pretty soon here, then in his recovery of that move, then I like to get into position and actually swing an attack at his head, or where it will be when it gets there. It takes some pretty precise timing, but it's a good way to get some free damage on him, and it can be kind of tough to hit his head, as I've already mentioned. So, other things, as with any monster, you know, you generally don't want to be in front of him, especially this guy, because sort of one of his main attacks is a big charge. In fact, I'm not even sure he's done it yet. He probably has, but I wasn't paying any attention, and you absolutely don't want to be in the way of that charge. In his normal state like this, he's really not bad. He's kind of slow, but he's very easy to enrage, and that's kind of where the fight starts, is when he enrages. He gets extremely fast when he's enraged. Very dangerous. He can dish out some damage, especially the higher rank and G rank versions. So I'll just sit here and keep on kicking his head. Of course, I'm using a pretty overpowered weapon for him right now, so his horn broke super fast, faster than I would actually liked it to. But that's how he looks after he's broken. If you're actually at the level of this fight, it's not going to be that fast, I promise you. But you don't have to do anything different than what I'm doing here. It's just going to be a slower process. So here he does this move. Sometimes he'll do it twice, and then I try to get over in this position here that I'm at and do an attack as he's recovering from it. I really hope I get to at least show that once before he dies. But yeah, every time he goes underground, the first thing I do is sheath and then just run away, because as you can see, he's pretty quick under the ground and he can pop right up under you. Alright, so here he's enraged. It's pretty easy to tell he gets all this black smoke. And he starts to look like he's on crack. He's really fast now. So you gotta really make sure that you're sheathed and sprinting away from him, because he's super quick. And now he'll be dashing around a lot like this. Hopefully he'll actually go back into the room where he started, because there's another trick I'd really like to show you guys. In fact, I'm probably not even going to hit his room anymore until I get to show you guys this trick, because it involves giving hits on his head, and it's a really easy way to do it. So I'm probably going to focus on his tail for now, which is even harder to hit than his head, especially with the switch axe. It's actually not easy at all to hit with the switch axe. It's even more time-based than anything else. You usually have to try to get an attack in, like, as he's recovering from one of his attacks to even have a chance of hitting his tail. As you can see, it's really high up and it won't stay in place for hardly any time. So there he did the double head swipe there. What I like to do is, it's pretty easy to tell where his head is going to end up after that second swipe, so I try to get into place and attack as he's coming back into place. So I'm kind of just not going to be very aggressive on him right now because I really don't want him to lose his second horn until I can show you guys this trick back in the other room, and B, I don't want him to die. So here he's exhausted. I'm going to show you the sonic bomb thing. So when he digs underground, I'm going to throw a sonic bomb right after he completely submerges. As you can see, he's extremely slow right now, and he can be pretty annoying. When he digs underground, like half the time he's going to leave the room once he digs underground, and if he's going to leave the room, then it doesn't matter if you throw the sonic bomb, it won't affect him. It's only when he's going to try to attack you after he's dug underground that the sonic bomb will actually affect him. So you can't tell when he's going to leave the room. He usually leaves really quickly after he becomes exhausted, but you just gotta throw the sonic bomb and pray that he's not leaving the room so that you can get a really good opportunity to attack him. Sometimes he'll also be a troll and just not dig under the ground at all like he's doing right now. Obviously that right there is a really good opportunity to attack him, but again, I'm not really attacking him a whole lot because I want to preserve that horn for a little while. And his health. Right through explaining everything. Hit or two. See, this is actually a good opportunity to hit his tail when he's exhausted and doing that move because he leaves it vulnerable for a really long time. So it's just kind of hanging out right there. Alright, there he goes underground. He's probably going to leave the room, but I'm going to throw a sonic bomb. You gotta wait till he's completely submerged, throw the bomb, there he goes. Now, you can do this even if he's not exhausted. You can't do it if he's enraged, but if he's not exhausted, do it, but he won't be underground like this for very long at all. You get a good 10 or 15 seconds to really attack his head or his ultra weak point, which is his neck. So that's the sonic bomb effect for you. You'll definitely, if it's easy for you to get sonic bombs, it can be kind of a pain, but if you happen to have sonic bombs to spare that you like to use, then I would definitely recommend using them on this fight. The Rathalos mask, if you happen to have it, of course works, but it's kind of unreliable in my opinion, so I don't rely on it too much. So I'm hoping to get him to go back into that first room again, because, you know, just in case he does, I'm going to let you know that if you're familiar with this map, then in that room to the north of here, there's a big like archway with a column, and what you can do is you can kind of trick him, where if you stand to where the column is in between you and him, then you can actually get him to do his charge into that column. He'll lodge his horns into the column and be stuck there for about 5-10 seconds, and you can sit there and attack his horns for a while he's stuck like that, and it's just a really good way to get free damage on him. And he'll drop a shiny, so you can get, you know, Withering Tears or whatever else he'll drop as a shiny. So of course he goes into this room instead of the room I wanted him to. But yeah, I'm kind of just going to take it easy on him for a little bit in hopes that I can get him to go into that room again and let you guys actually see what I'm talking about. It's probably not very hard to imagine what I'm saying. That's easy to see this down here. Trying to think of other things. There's actually not too much more to the fight, at least this version of the fight. He gets stuff in high rank and G rank. For instance, high rank, he's got a different move that he can do from under the ground, where you'll kind of see, I'll point it out next time he's digging under, you'll see a big dust cloud, you know, where he's digging under. If the dust cloud kind of lasts longer than his digging animation, like if he goes underground and you see that dust cloud lingering for a while, then he'll actually like burst out of the ground like in the direction of whoever he's targeting next and do a big damage. So here you see the dust that's kind of going around there. Like if he's doing this move that I'm talking about, then you'll see it sit there for a while longer, and then he'll burst out from where he is but in the direction of his target, and that can be a very damaging attack. That's definitely something to look out for. I don't think his low rank version does it, but definitely his high rank does it. So yeah, here he's enraged again. I'm kind of take it easy on him, of course, because I really like to show that horn trick before I get his other horn. One thing to note is, of course, the trick I'm talking about, he lodges his horn into the wall, so he has to have horns to lodge into the wall, which is why I'm trying not to break that other horn, because if both of his horns are broken, he's not going to be able to lodge into the wall like I'm talking about. Yeah, as you can see here, he's real fast and doesn't give you a lot of opportunities to capitalize on him. So a lot of his enraged time is just going to be you trying not to get hit by him. You'll notice that the end of his charge like that has a couple different endings. One where he'll just stop and do this headbutt, but then another one where he kind of keeps on sliding a while longer. If he keeps on sliding, there's a pretty good chance he'll do his tail whip afterwards. It's just something that it's one of his common behaviors. He doesn't do it every time, but it's pretty often. And then he's also got a triple one, kind of like Raytheon does, where if he's charging, he can actually do it 3 times. If you're not ready for it, they can catch you off guard pretty easily. So now I think he went into 4, or whatever that central room is. He doesn't actually spend too much time in 7, the room we were just in, or this room I'm going to. I'm a little bit surprised to see him go in here, but it's good. It means you don't have to have cold drinks active to fight him. If you have a weapon like a greatsword or a longsword, you can actually pretty easily hit his tail at the end of that double tail slam thing he just did to me. And when he's bringing it back up from the side, you can usually get a pretty easy hit on it. I'll try to do it here. Yeah, see, I got it there. It's much easier to do with a longsword or a greatsword. That's actually probably the best opportunity you'll get to hit his tail. Cooperative for the purposes of this video. And there goes one of the freaking Grimlok is taking out his tail. I don't even think I've seen that before. That's pretty funny. Kind of getting tired of waiting on him. I might just go ahead and take him out if he doesn't cooperate pretty soon here. I get the feeling you guys probably have a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about, this horn trick. It's just much preferable to actually show it. Yeah, that's another reason I don't like to use hammers on him, especially if you're solo, is obviously hammers aren't going to do anything for cutting off his tail, so I'm probably just not going to get his tail if you're using a hammer and you don't have a friend with that. I just start dung bombing him, trying to get him to leave the room. Trying to dung bomb him. Failing in the process. Here we go, he's probably gonna leave the room here. Nope. Diablos knows that I'm trying to get him to do certain things. Oh, okay. Here's the trick right here. This isn't as reliable of a way to do it, but here, he tried to charge me and this mound was in the way, so he's stuck. And that's a perfect opportunity. This mound isn't going to be able to take another charge probably. It'll collapse. That's the main advantage of using the column that I'm talking about in that room to the northwest. That column will not ever fall. It's always going to stay up, so as long as he has horns, you can use this trick on him to get free hits. So, that was it. That was the trick, the almighty trick that I've hyped up so much for this entire video. I know it was fascinating. But yeah, it's very useful for Diablos, especially if you're trying to get his horns. And probably will be trying to get his horns. I believe you can do the trick in here too. It's not as reliable because it involves jumping up on this ledge here, and the ledge has durability, just like that mountain does. So you have to charge into it a couple times, and it'll fall down, and then you'll get destroyed. If I'm going to do that horn trick, I'm definitely just going to try to do it with that column. But I'll show you guys this version of it, just as an FYI. There he goes again. So now he's stuck. And he had one more hit on his horn, so no more horn trick for us for this fight. That's fine. You guys don't get the idea at this point. So now I'm just going to finish him off. This is why I like to use Paralyze, because if he still had his horns, then you got a good 10 or 15 seconds to keep attacking his horns here. Otherwise, you can just start working on his neck, which is his weak point. He doesn't have anything else to break at this point. It's just his tail and his 2 horns. So, I'm finishing him off right now. Imagine he's not going to last too much longer. Which at this point, I think he's done about every move that he has. One thing of note is he does have wings, obviously, and of course most monsters that have wings have breakable wings, but he does not. He's actually exhausted when he lands with a Sonic Bomb, but he's going to leave the room, so as you see, the Sonic Bomb had no effect like it did earlier. It's just, you can't tell that he's going to leave the room, but when he does, then your Sonic Bomb's going to be completely ineffective. So at this point, he's just trying to get to his nesting area. His nesting area is this room over across here. I think it's like 11 or something. You jump down from here, or you can get there from 7, which is that room over there. That's where he sleeps. So if he happens to get away from you, then that's where you're going to look for him. It's pretty obvious, though. He'll burrow all the way over there when he leaves from here. See just the speed boost he gets from the range. It's real quick. It's easy to get hit by him. It hurts. So now he's doing his triple run, so you want to make sure that you're not doing like a dodge or a panic dive. Never panic dive unless you absolutely have to. Really, in any case, but especially for this run that he does here, you don't want to panic dive, because there's always the chance that he'll do that triple run when he's enraged. If you panic dive, then you're literally a sitting duck for his next pass. You'll probably be okay if you have to roll out of the way, but that's still not ideal. If you're just running directly to the side when he's charging at you, you should, provided you're sprinting, you should be able to get out of the way. And once again, to reiterate, always make sure when he goes underground that the first thing you do is sheath and then run, because he doesn't always spend the same amount of time underground before he pops back out. Sometimes he will do it instantly, and if you're wasting any time with your weapon out, then he's going to pop out on you and it's going to hurt. So here you see he dug all the way over to this side here, so it's pretty obvious that he exited out this way. And like with any monster, I'm going to give him a few moments to go to sleep so I can get that extra damage on him when I hit him to wake him up. Do a little dancing with Kayamba here. We'll go check on him. So there he's sleeping. Sometimes these Jaggies will troll you and actually attack him. They're actually trying to attack you, but if they're on the other side of him and they try to attack, then they might hit him. They'll get the triple damage, and it's probably not quite as damaging as your attack. So it sucks when that happens. Not too much you can do. Alright, see there, he's came pretty close to hitting me because I dodged out of the way instead of just using the sprint. I had to dodge because I was unsheathed, but that's kind of a good way to reiterate why you should always be sheathed if you're doing this attacking, which is kind of typically good until for stuff. But there you have it. He's a dead dragon now, dead wyvern, whatever you want to call him. So yeah, that's pretty much the fight. I think I was able to cover basically everything he does. I don't think he's got any moves left that he didn't do in this video. I think I was able to go over pretty much all of the strategies and tactics that I like to use on him. So hopefully, if you're having trouble with Diablos, this will help you out some. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you have any special requests, let me know in the comments. And feel free to join my stream at www.twitch.tv/Grimlok24. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. So I will see you guys later with another monster. Thanks for watching.